Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to another video. Today I'm doing one that has been requested, and that is a flip through of my ink journal, my primary ink journal. And I am about to move into a new one, so it's perfect timing. I've been in this one since April of 2018, so that's like more than a year, because right now as I'm filming this, it's July 2019. And I initially, this is a Rhodia Goal Book. I won it on Instagram in a drawing from Ink Journal, and I'll link you to their website. But when I got this book, it was way beyond anything I could have imagined, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I had won it, so I wasn't so hesitant to use it because I hadn't bought it. It was, it just fell into my lap. It was such a surprise, and so I just decided I'm going to make this into an ink journal. Now, it wasn't my first one. My first one was this one. It was a Clairefontaine notebook. But I was writing things in this. I wasn't really, I don't know. I just didn't know yet. I hadn't settled in yet. And so this was it. It was, there's the information. And I had got this at Goulet Pens, and I wrote in my little swatches and things like that. But this one is just a bunch of writing. It's not real good samples of what I did. So let's go ahead and do a flip through. This is kind of new for me. You guys usually see 1 or 2 pages at a time. But let's see. First of all, let's go right to the index. That is one of the most important parts, and I try to keep up with this. I just recently went back through and highlighted each one of the ink flight entries so I could find them easily. And also I had forgotten to write in like what company the ink was, so I added that in too. Well, like Tasha, I put that there because I was so crazy about that ink. But I'm learning to work with indexes. Doesn't come real easy to me. But anyway, I'll say more about that later, but I really think indexes are a good idea. So they really help, and this one had a built-in index. Also, I added a special section because I added some things in here that I want to find quickly, and if I don't have it tabbed, which I've got 2 things tabbed, my 30 inks, 30 days, and my summer ink down, which I'm going to be referring to often, even after I move out of this book. Okay, so like I said, when I started, there were some pages I didn't use that would be probably used for a traditional bullet journal, like a projection, like kind of calendar thing. I just came in with a bang. I taped in something from Ink Journal, and this turns out that was the Colorverse Ink Flight. It was box number 15, and I just started swatching. This was before I started reviewing inks, keep in mind. And then I decided, well, I'd like to have a quick glance of my the inks that I have in bottles. So I kept up with this for a while. I now have 40 bottled inks, so there's some missing on here. I've given this one away. So that's a handy reference. It was for a long time, and I will try to do this in my new one too. I have some ideas. And then every month when I got Ink Flight, even before I started reviewing inks, I did this. I taped in their what they sent me, and I would swatch the inks and say what was in there and make some notes, and then I would kind of play around. I was just getting my feet wet with the whole idea of an ink journal. And then I was doing stuff too, like I would do currently inked every once in a while. And then I started using the little currently inked notebooks, and this is my second one. And that sort of took over from there. That you don't see too many of those. I was doing a pink study, apparently. Lamy Vibrant Pink, Diamine Hope Pink, and Caran Dash Divine Pink. That's a fun page there. And then in came J. Arbon Pourcé de Lune. That was a fun ink. And then I did I must have ripped that out of my old ink journal. I used to have some extra samples that went back when I only had a handful of samples. Whoops. Okay, and then I guess I was studying Mint Turquoise and Diamine Aqua Lagoon, one of my favorites. going to be hard not to make this an hour-long video. I can't because I don't have that much time on my file. I would just plop in inks that I was studying, you know, just tape them in, and I love to do that. Tape in on the Tomoe River paper. Another ink flight, that was June 2018, Monte Grappa and Aurora. But I always keep these. I like to refer to these. Oh my gosh, washi tape city here. I was probably getting ready to do a review on my Serendipity. Okay, oh, more currently inked. And then here we go. I must have been studying Emerald of Chivor, Monteverde, California teal. That actually shows the difference between those two. Robert Oster Tranquility, Sitz Krusnock Palm Green, and another Diamine Aqua Lagoon. I love seeing, I can't get enough of seeing the inks on Tomoe River paper. Okay, then I started reviewing TWSBI pens. I believe I was still back and forth between the two ink journals because I seem to remember doing notes in the red one and then coming over here and recopying them. All right, Bunga Box Lamont, Krishna Anakai, nice purple. And then here came Ink Flight 18, July 2018. KWZ, Krishna, and Papier Plume, I think, yeah. Those were all real dark inks. Okay, so then I did, you know, explore them a little, and must have been reviewing TWSBI Eco. Oh, and I was on a roll. TWSBI Mini, TWSBI Eco T. Just notes here. TWSBI Diamond 580, TWSBI Eco T. Huh. Yeah, TWSBI. Okay, and then here came Ink Flight 19, August 2018. Ooh, Diamine, all pretty ones. Okay. And then, oh, TWSBI Go. I wonder if I came back in and did this later because it says received August 22nd. Okay, that was one of the things I was going to mention. I've got a whole tip list here. Probably go through that at the end though. But date your pages. If you don't do like I do date your pages. I think it's good. Whenever I did that, I was happy. I did a Jinhao 993 Shark Pen review. Okay, and then I was looking at Robert Oster Tranquility. I taped in a Goulet card that used to come when you ordered. Now, here's where things changed. This is where I decided to participate in the 30 Inks 30 Days with Ink Journal, and it was sponsored by Ink Journal and Rick Shaw. September 2018. Okay, at least I dated that. And I chose my inks ahead of time, and I did this. And to be accountable, I decided that I would do a video every day. I don't know what possessed me, or I was going to try to. And I started doing that, and people liked it and wanted me to continue. This ended up being a wish list of ink samples and notes and things like that. Okay, and then I just dove right in. This was day one, and I used a half a page for each color of all 30 of those inks. And it was fun. It was great. People really liked it, and I didn't know what I was doing. If you look at some of those older ones, they're not like they are now. I hadn't yet developed a system. I was pretty much using the same pen each time. It would change over time. Like, I guess I was using the broad and the medium, and then there I'm just using the medium. I hadn't gotten any consistency yet. So, but I did each one of those, and they're all still up. I haven't deleted them, even though some of them are kind of cheesy, but hey, that's how we get started. So there was one every day in that September. That was quite a lot of fun. And it got me using my ink samples. It got me really testing them out. It was such a lot of fun. So there's 30 of those all the way through. And, you know, oh, Robert Oster Fire and Ice. Something I wanted to save, I guess. Little note. I covered up the name and everything, but that meant a lot to me. Okay, and here are the last two. Roaring Klinger Sulfurino and Monteverde Mandarin Orange. Started something, didn't stop. Didn't finish. And then back to Ink Flight 20, J.R. Vaughn inks. Okay, and that was the point at which I started reviewing each of the inks out of the Ink Flight after I got it, because I had so much fun during 30 inks, 30 days. So I just went for it. I started doing it, and people liked it. They encouraged me to keep doing it, so I did, and I love it. And taped in some things. This was an entry in one of Goulet's their Monday contest. I can't even remember what that's called, but okay. And then I decided to pick some, and I did Chris's Choice series and reviewed these 8 inks. So there they went. Try to speed this up without being ridiculous. Ink Flight 21 came along with Robert Oster, 1980s series. That was awesome. Okay, and so I did each one, did a video on each one of those. Here's that little taped in from note from Mark from Rickshaw. And oh, this is, I wrote keep. Okay, this was my materials list for a class I took with Nick Stewart. And I wanted to keep that. He had recommended some fountain pen inks and things, and I want to keep that forever. So then I did another this was a viewer's choice. We did voting. So we selected 8 inks. You guys voted on them. And so I did that series. That was fun. That was especially fun because I knew you guys wanted to see them. Okay, and then every once in a while there'll be an empty page which I can come in later and fill in. Ink Flight 22 came along with 3 oysters from Korea. I just kept doing things however I liked to see. However I liked it, I would go ahead and paint directly onto this Rhodia paper. It's pretty hardy. You do get some bleed through, but not a whole lot. Okay, and I reviewed each one of these. Made notes. At that time, apparently, I was using a Lamy fine nib, and then I was using a 1.1 stub, but I didn't make very good notes back then, so you know, I've gotten a little more standardized. And then we did another viewer's choice, series 2. Probably I had the voting and just use those secondary ones that had gotten the most votes, and did reviews on each of those. But this has been so good for me. Look at that. There's our first notice that I was starting to do chromatography. Okay, and then Ink Flight 23, December 2018. The Ink Journal Holiday Blends. Those are really cool. Oh, I even used a sticker. Boy, that was fun. And then I reviewed each one of them, even though they were a special mix, and we did get the recipes at the end. They put it in their blog. Oh, and look what happened. On December 21st, 2018, I went over 1,000 subscribers. I was so thrilled. It was exciting. Okay, and then along came the Ferris Wheel Press inks, Bluegrass Velvet, Candy Marsala, and a little more chromatography. I started to get interested in that. Oh, and then I did my top 5 pens, and this is what I had inked up in them at that time. Ooh, a blank paper. Okay, and then I just started doing ink singles, Franklin Christoph, Pelican, Noodler's Purple Mountain Majesties, and on to another Ink Flight 24, January 2019, the Tasha inks. Oh, I fell in love with those inks like crazy. And reviewed each one of those. They're all here on the channel. And then I went crazy trying to find a match for Platinum Violet, which I later found out that Silky Purple was a match in the mixables. I just didn't know that at the time. But I looked at all of these, which were really pretty close. Actually, that was fun. Okay, and then Annie's recipes. See, I try to put things in here because, okay, let me just show you what it looks like if I don't use an ink journal. This is what it looks like, a box of stuff. And I can lose things. I can end up so disorganized because that's how I am. So I do recommend a notebook of some kind, any kind, really. Okay, more Tasha inks. I ordered those special so we could continue reviewing them. I loved them because they're real flowy inks. I did a Birmingham pen, John Arbuckle coffee bean. And then on to another Ink Flight, the Kyoto Tag inks, and reviewed each one of those. Started using a whole page per ink. And started on coffee filters, which did not work out, but I tried. I used some Dollar Tree coffee filters for chromatography, and I just didn't like them. Didn't like how they came out. Let's see. So I went right through there and back to another Tasha. I kept trying to get as many of those as I could so we could review them. That was fun. Some more singles. This is one I have a bottle of. So I would, pretty much standardize that and put everything in here that I could think of. Okay, here's the Kaweco ink flight. Not dated, but ink flight 26. That wasn't too long ago. And did each one individually. And is that where we start with real paper? No, I guess I had the chromatography paper for a while. Pretty soon I shifted how I did those, though, and you'll see that coming up. So I kept on reviewing the Kaweco inks and kept leaving the chromatography too long. Okay, oh, that was pretty. Birmingham tarnished nickel. The chromatography was prettier than the actual ink, I think. But okay, Noodler's Rome burning was amazing, but watch out for staining in your pen. And then, okay, the Ink Flight mystery inks, the ones where we didn't find out till later what they were. That was fun. They ended up being Robert Oster and Diamine and a Krishna. Two Krishna, 2 Diamine, and 3 Robert Oster inks. That was fun. So while we were profiling them, we really didn't know what they were. I came back in and wrote in what they were after. That was fun. Oh my God, that was silly. Okay, and then another one of those. Ink Flight 28, the Pelican inks. We're getting to our more recent time. The Pelican 4001 and Edelstein inks. Learned a lot with those. And look, what do we have here? All of a sudden I started flying right. I started doing chromatography, probably what's more considered the right way, but hey, I had to learn. I had to go through all my, little processes there. And there may be more than one right way, but I like this better. I've had better results since I started doing it with a line across and sticking in the water. And there's those Pelican inks. Went through those. And Monteverde Copper Noir, that was recently. Gee whiz, it seems like. Okay, then I started getting pen parcel. That's May 2019 pen parcel from Birmingham Inks. Some of these I still haven't reviewed. And then this, I got out of order a little, but it's okay. This is the April one. I ended up getting April, May, and June, and then in June they stopped, for now anyway. Okay, and then I started with a Sunday Fun series and went in and did Ackerman Trev's Turquoise, some stamping for the Sunday Fun series, and then back into Fountain Pen Revolution Blue Black ink. That was fun. Very nice chromatography on that. And then this is the Ink Flight where I have not yet profiled them all, but I went in anyway and painted them in so I was kind of ready. And they'll be in the queue. They'll sort of have an equal chance with the rest of the inks to be profiled. And so that's working. That's going to work out good. And then went back in and did Waterman Tender Purple. Had some bleed through there, but that happens every once in a while. Robert Oster Cherry Blossom. That was just a little while ago. Lamy Crystal Amazonite. And then I just did this Wing Sung 3008 review. I kind of keep these things in here too. It helps me too to look back on my notes. And let's see what else. Okay, then I did my spread. I just showed you that. Those of you that watch the channel, Summer Ink Down and all of my plans for that and where I'm at right now. I've gone from 451 active samples down to 282 with a whole bunch of them transferred over to my art desk and some of them ready to give away. A few rare ones and 123 lined up, queued up for review. I'm going to be busy. And then Birmingham Marmalade. That was a review I just did. Oh, a little order. That's a little preview there of stuff coming. I made a little goulet order for the first time in a long time. And then I just did J. Arbonne Ancre Classic Lierre Sauvage, which is Wild Ivy. And then I'm come kind of to almost to the end of the book. I taped this in. I don't want to lose this, even though this is totally disconnected from where it belongs. The Waterman Tender Purple. That is on my wish list. I really like that ink. Okay, so then... Oh, I just did this tonight. I didn't want to lose track that I had this June pen parcel and the letter from Nick explaining that for right now they're going to suspend that. And then I put the inks on the Tomoe River paper so we can, those are queued up, same way as the last ink journal. kind of have an equal chance with the rest of the inks. Okay, this was something I just didn't want to lose. This was the Tasha Ink Flight. 6, 7, yeah, that's all 7 of them. I had it up on my wall for a long time. I just didn't want to lose this because these are some of my very favorite inks. So I put it in here. And I've got a couple empty pages. So I'll either keep going, because there's a few. Here was a wish list that I had started at a bad spot in the book. I don't know why I did that. I later realized that I needed to put it in the back, so I did. I had originally done a pen test back here. And so the wish list really kind of went better here. I used it more in the way in the back than I did. I could have tabbed that one, but there's no problem. You can always cover over stuff and come back in, and probably I will do some more ink singles. I hate to waste any pages, so I'll probably come in and do some single inks in here, no problem. Because this book, even though it's real fat, it's still okay. The binding must be really tough. And then I taped in the Pelikan Edelstein Star Ruby little ink spot that I had done, or splatter. And a couple of my favorites on the Nick Stewart technique I put in here. And this is how he indexes his, which I thought was neat. Ooh, I can see that I'm ripping. Ooh, good thing I'm moving out of this, huh? It hasn't gone all the way through yet. But that's a long time. That is April 2018 to July 2019. And I heavily use this. You guys know. Oh, okay. I saved the Rhodia samples of the Tasha as well. And a little Tanzanite Sky. And oh, I saved all of the chromatography from those. I'm just obsessed with Tasha inks, I guess. But I have not. I only got one bottle. I got the Murasaki Purple in the bottle form. I couldn't help myself, but I really loved them all. But I'm not, I'm not completely losing it here. Okay, so let me just show you the next one. I have my next book. I ordered the brown one, so I'm all set. And I even kind of think I'm going to go with these 2 stickers. I haven't really opened it yet, but that just shows you what we start with, thickness-wise, and what I ended up with. Wow. This is the book that I've been in here with the tabs, and then this is the new one. So these are pretty hardy to stand up to what I've put them through. Okay, I want to try to say a couple more things, too, while I'm at it, because, I always have a lot to say. So that the flip through has been done. Yay! Okay, so I got a couple of tips, and I'll just bring over a couple more things. So my first tip as far as keeping an ink journal is I recommend it, and I think you should just do it. Don't let perfectionism get in your way, and don't let lack of a notebook get in your way. Just pick up anything, basically. Go to your little store and get just anything. This is the CVS Caliber one, and this in itself is an ink journal now. I tore out some of the crap in the front and just left in what I'm doing here, and even this paper displays the ink and even the sheening. And so this is going to be a resource too for me. And I'm almost full, so I got my next one of that. So just do it. That's my first tip. The second one is use what you have, or get something inexpensive. I won that notebook, and then it won my heart. It won my dollars too. I paid the big money to get, a second one because I just loved it. I do. Okay, so just do it. Use what you have, and make use of an index. If it doesn't have an index, this one did, and this one had not only an index, but numbered pages. But you can always just reserve a couple pages in the front and number your own pages. I mean, people do that are bullet journalists too. Just number your own pages. Then you can find stuff. I do think it's important, especially if you're working in a larger book that's going to get real chunky. Okay, and then date your entries. That's number 4. I think that's important. Of course, in here, we're coming apart here too. I've been rough on this one. I'm just about done with this one. In here, it gives you a place to put date inked. Whoops, that's not actually where I am. I'm way over here. So, but even in your other books, I kind of recommend dating. Because you're going to wonder, well, when was that? How long have I had that ink? And you're not going to know unless you do it. the other thing I say is make it your own. Don't worry about how it looks, because as you go along, you're going to find what you really like. And basically, one of the things, what I like is being able to see these inks in here. Like, so I ended up settling on things like this, where I tape in something from the company, and then I either tape in or directly, you know, this is just me. You know, you're going to want to do you. You're going to want to do it, make your own rules and stuff, and it'll just be great, because it'll give you a central location for all your stuff. And everybody probably already does this. If you don't, I just highly recommend you do, or else you'll probably end up like me with these boxes of stuff, which I'm now going to go through and see if I can sort, because some of it I really need to keep, but oh goodness, it gets out of hand. It really does. So, of course, you know, this is wonderful too, the cola rings. And I have this dedicated one just for the full bottles that I have. And then I also do this, which is not an ink journal, but I keep a card on each ink. And I've got 2 boxes of these now. I had to make a box just for blue. You know, and that's different. I understand. It's because I'm a reviewer. I like to review inks, and that's probably, that makes me a little bit weird and unusual. But so I think I've said everything I wanted to say and then some, and this got really long. But what I'm really, really, really looking forward to, and I mean this, I want to know, you know, do you keep an ink journal? What kind of notebook are you using? You know, how does it help you, and what have you found out? What would be your tips if you were going to tell someone? I'll type out the tips, because I know I was kind of like a mad scientist while I was listing them out. But I'm really interested, and I have not been sorry that I started doing this, and it's just been awesome. I can look back in here and find what the inks look like. I can get inspiration. And now that I'm understanding the chromatography better, and I'm doing a little bit better with that, I can come back in and look at them and see what to expect, you know, from the inks. So it's helped me sort of learn and progress the whole 9 yards. Okay, I'm terrible at going on and on, so I'm going to end the video. But this was a special request, and I wanted to do it as I'm moving into the new one. And I wanted to just encourage you to try it out, and also let me know what you're doing. I'd love to hear about it. Bye for now.